I'm going to stay awake for 24 hours and take you on a journey through the world of sleep. You'll meet an insomniac who can't get to bed.
This problem was really taking away my life.
And a round-the-world sailor who must stay awake. Find out just how violent a sleepwalker can get.
I ripped my closet door off the wall.
And see how this man faces suffocation every time he catches a few winks. We'll try to unravel the mystery of dreams and find out how sleep can be utterly terrifying.
You feel spiders, snakes.
At 3 in the morning, I'll hook up with shift workers who, like me, are toiling away after dark. And through it all, I'll try every trick in the book to stay awake.
We're supposed to look.
See what happens to my mind and body as I fight the overpowering urge to sleep.
Wow, nothing beats a good night's sleep. Did you know that we spend a third of our lives sleeping, and yet we still have more questions than answers when it comes to the mysterious world of sleep? Like, why do we need to sleep? And how much sleep do we need? Or what happens to our bodies when we sleep? Most importantly, what happens when we can't sleep? I'm Kat Carney, and for the next 24 hours, I'm going to stay awake to test my body's limits as I battle the effects of sleep deprivation. So stay with me as we take a real-time look inside the fascinating world of sleep. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go get dressed. I'm going to do my best to go without sleep for 24 hours, but that's an easy trick for some sportsmen that I'd like to introduce you to. Check out this natural laboratory for sleep deprivation.
These are solo sailors who race around the world. They're alone at sea for as long as 6 weeks at a time. These are people who, if they had their choice, would never shut their eyes. Sailors who fall asleep at the helm of one of these boats could not only lose the race, they could lose their lives. Jean-Pierre Molinet is a solo sailor who managed to survive and win the 26,000-mile Around Alone Challenge.
Danger when you're sailing alone and you don't have enough sleep is, you start to hallucinate. After 3 days without sleeping, you start to go crazy. You literally see stuff coming out of the water. And what's dangerous about it is that you start to make very bad decisions.
Unfortunately, these solo sailors can't avoid that semi-conscious state we call sleep. Though we spend about 8 hours a night sleeping from cradle to grave, scientists still struggle to define it. In fact, the best we can really do is describe it. Sleep, generally speaking, is when our bodies are still. We drift away from conscious thought. We become unresponsive to stimuli from the outside world. To sleep is also to recharge our batteries. It plays a key role in the growth and repair of our muscles and organs. And scientists think we may even need sleep to help lock in the day's memories.
When I force myself to stay awake, I'm fighting natural daily cycles called circadian rhythms. These regulate daily changes in my blood pressure, my body temperature, and most importantly, my sleep.
Our circadian rhythms are controlled in our brain by the master clock, a small collection of cells located where pathways from our two eyes meet. Tapping directly into the visual system, our master clock monitors the amount of light in the outside world. As it gets dark, the clock triggers the pineal gland to release a hormone called melatonin, which signals the body to prepare for sleep. Exposure to light is the main factor that sets our clock and determines when we feel awake and when we're ready to call it a day. We fight our natural clock at our own peril, whether you're trying to work a normal job or sail a boat around the world. Too little sleep leads to mood changes such as irritability and depression. It temporarily diminishes mental abilities, leading to problems with memory and concentration. Motor skills, reflexes, and hand-eye coordination also suffer. These are side effects of sleep loss a solo sailor definitely wants to avoid.
Learning how to sleep efficiently is the key to the whole thing. I think it's the most important factor of single-handed sailing is knowing how to manage your fatigue and your sleep.
Jean-Pierre recruited Dr. Claudio Stampi, who has studied the sleep patterns of over 100 solo sailors.
I started studying solo sailors over 20 years ago because I was interested in sleep deprivation and in ways to manage sleep deprivation in situations where you cannot avoid it. Solo sailing is a very interesting model of that because the sailor is alone and has to deal with all sorts of efforts, physical, mental, intellectual. So your brain needs to be working very well.
The average sleeper on land has his night broken into 5 distinct stages. Stage 1 is the transition from being awake to sleep. It's that drifting feeling where your eyes get heavy. If you are awakened, you might not even realize you've nodded off. Stage 2 is a very light sleep. Your muscles relax and your brain activity slows. Stage 3 is deep sleep, where the heart and breathing rates slow considerably, and the brain and body begins to truly rest. Stage 4 is the deepest level of sleep. It is in deep sleep where the body releases human growth hormone, which orchestrates the routine repair of muscle and bone. Lastly, 90 minutes or so into sleep, you shift into rapid eye movement, or REM sleep. It is here that dreaming occurs, and it is here where we likely consolidate our memories. But solo sailors don't have the luxury of sleeping through an entire night. Out at sea, they're never more than a few minutes away from a potential disaster. Stampi's solution? Return, literally, to sleeping like a baby.
We are nappers for several months and sometimes for years after a birth. And when we get to the old ages, we also tend to return to a polyphasic pattern, to a multiple napping pattern. So the idea is probably relatively easy for us to go back to this ancestral pattern. And in fact, this is exactly the strategy that most solo sailors do. They take several naps many times per day.
Using autopilot, the sailor can grab a quick nap and get the rest the body so badly needs to survive.
Really try never to sleep more than 25 minutes at a time. Get up for 5 minutes, look around, make sure everything is good on the boat, that the boat is going fast in the right direction, and then go back to sleep for 25 minutes.
For Jean-Pierre, this strategy not only gave him the edge to win the race, he's put it to use at home as well.
We just had a baby about 4 weeks ago, and my training there is really helping me out. We're sleeping about an hour and a half at a time, So it's working.
Dr. Stampi has helped dozens of solo sailors learn that sleep is more than just a nightly ritual. It's the key to victory, a lesson we should all take to heart.
So I've been up for a couple of hours now, and I'm feeling fresh and well-rested and ready to go. And right now I'm standing in the offices of Circadian Technologies, a company that's devoted to improving safety and alertness in the workplace. Now we're going to begin our experiment here by testing my alertness on their state-of-the-art driving simulator. And then at the end of my 24-hour experiment, we're going to come back and we're going to test my alertness again and get a before and after comparison. So, you ready to go? I am. Buckle up. Let's take it for a spin. So, I'm all hooked up. Is there anything I need to know before I start here?
Well, you just have to do some driving. Just try to stay on the road, stay in the lane.
Okay, stay on the road, stay in the lane. there going to be any cars coming at me?
No, it's going to be a very boring drive because we want you to get drowsy as soon as possible.
They're measuring my speed, my steering, and my reaction time. How well I do behind the wheel deteriorates with loss of sleep. And these wires? They're measuring my brain waves, looking to see if I have miniature sleep episodes, so small I can't even notice them.
Now this may look easy now, but you get to about 2 o'clock in the morning and short of sleep, and you'll start having these little microsleep lapses, which of course is what we're really trying to study here, where people just totally lose it, and may, if the road takes a bend, they'll come off because the car will just keep going straight.
Dr. Martin Moore-Eade, president of Circadian Technologies, will compare my driving today with my performance tomorrow, after a full night of sleep deprivation.
So if I only miss a couple of hours of sleep, or let's say I only got 5 hours of sleep last night, does that put me at risk?
You're going to be at risk at certain times. As I say, you will be at risk after lunch, you'll be at risk at nighttime, late hour driving. It's the time when you're most vulnerable. But even an hour or two's worth of sleep loss can have some effect.
Well, I'm doing pretty good, but let's see how I do tomorrow.